Good evening, it's Kuro. Got a Tier 9 game in my black, going over the matchmaking. The enemy team has Double Iowa, FDG, Alaska, Fletcher, Z46, and Kitakaze. The map is Crash Zone Alpha, 3 cap domination, and we're going to kick this one off. So start out with some of the changes that well, the captain that I'm running on black. Nothing fancy. It's basically the standard U.S. destroyer captain that I'm kind of going with. I'll include the links in the video description below, so you guys can take a look at what I'm doing. And it U.S. destroyers, they've got a really nice build option with the captain's rework. And I do think that it's nice to see because those ships needed a little bit of love. Um, So anyway, gonna get down to this game. I spawned closest to C-Cap. I'm gonna push up here and try to scout C-Cap for my team. And it looks like I'm going to have an Azuma that's headed with me and a Kitakaze that I'm a little worried about because he's wanting to play the middle. And the problem with playing the middle, it's not necessarily bad, but you got an Alaska out there that's going to have a 10-kilometer radar that if you're out here in the middle, all of a sudden you can get caught by a radar on either flank if you're not careful. Now, I'm taking this time out to make this torpedo run. Uh, I couldn't do it the safe way because I'd turn into the island, so turning in like this, it does throw my approach angles off a little bit to C-Cap. But the idea is that any ship, or any DD in particular, entering this cap, usually destroyers will, you know, be traveling northbound, and torpedoes from this angle, it's almost a 90-degree angle, and even with how slow these torps are, they don't have much reaction time, and this could be a nasty surprise for somebody. And I mean, 20 seconds, my torpedoes are reloading again, so it's not the end of the world. Now, I do walk into an ambush here. I thought with the Kitakaze mid, this wouldn't happen, but they managed to get into this position, and honestly, I was too, okay, just gonna talk through this. Kitakaze can't see me for 6 seconds because of the radar render delay. I just slowed down, threw the shots off with the Alaska. Most of my juking here, I'm just presenting a target aspect of my ship. I'm heading in this direction. Soon as guys shoot, I just change it. Alaska just shot. You saw it. Slammed on the brakes again. Turn back out. I'm avoiding most of the damage. I'm almost out. Just gonna keep sailing now. You can really see it with this juke here. I've got some room to work. You see I look, okay, Alaska shot, and I'm timing these shots off in my head. I was sailing this way, oh, he shot, I'm just gonna turn and just pull my ship out from under where those shots you know, would land, or where I'm projected to be. So Alaska looks like he's bow tanking. Black torpedoes are really unreliable at torping maneuvering ships, so I'm going to focus this Alaska with my torps. Um, you know, really try to crank that torpedo DPM in there. Here, there's no radar threat. This Fletcher's being super aggressive. He's just throwing his ship away. So I just push right into him, face check him, smoke up. If this guy somehow goes dark, I'm just going to radar him, and we're just going to take a DD off the board. Now, I see the Alaska. This is the priority target right now. He needs to go. Now, I see that the Alaska's in the middle of a hard turn. I just stopped shooting. That hard turn's going to put him right in the path of my torpedoes. Apparently, that Fletcher still hadn't spotted the torpedoes, and he's going to eat them all. So I'm just kiting back. We are getting pushed hard on this flank right now, and I don't want to get caught out in my smoke. I wanted to see if I could find the Kitakaze. There he is. Now I am going to radar the Iowa for my team. And I'm just going to take, some really wide perspective torpedo shots at this Iowa here. Kind of, one set if he does this thing, one set if he does this thing. Now I'm waiting. I basically waited until this Kitakaze went behind the island, and it's a U.S. smoke. It's there for over a minute still, and I'm just going to come right back to it, use it to get my guns back into the fight, because having an Azuma on my flank kind of spooks me, because it's a really squishy cruiser, and this Iowa can just wreck it in one shot. So it's I know that me and my Kitakaze buddy have to be really bringing the pressure on this Iowa to make sure that this Azuma doesn't get nuked. So I want to make sure that we keep this Iowa spotted. Now, I don't want to spook him stepping on the cap, because my torpedoes are almost up again. We do have a 2-kill lead, so we do have points that we can work with. Now again, looks like Iowa might be turning this way. I lead one set of torps. Oh, he might be coming back this way. Now, these torps are so slow that if I wanted these torps to actually hit, if he hard turns out, I should aim them back in here. That's how slow these torpedoes are. He's traveling in this direction. I'm under 7 kilometers, and if he hard turns, he's going to be all the way here by the time my torpedoes arrive. And this is the limitation with Black. You're excellent at harassing destroyers, controlling caps, but when it comes to punishing, large ships that are maneuvering, it gets very difficult with your torpedoes. So that also means that right from the outset of the game, if you see ships that are playing fixed positions, take advantage of your longer than average range with your torps and the short reload on your torps, and just keep flooding those guys until they're gone, because you're going to get more damage out of that than you are, throwing Make-A-Wish torpedoes at stuff that's dodging torpedoes right, left, and center. Taking a look, my Azuma, he's still doing good HP wise, but he's being pushed off the border into the Iowa, and that's not a good place for him to be. Now, Kitakaze, you can see he is on CCAP. Gonna throw some torpedoes out here, and I'm just gonna decide, you know what, I'm just gonna smoke up right now. This guy is, I'm trying to bait this Iowa into turning out, where he might eat these torpedoes easier if he turns out a little bit. Kitakaze takes a shot at me. That's definitely a higher priority target. But the Iowa, basically, he ended up turning out a lot more than I originally thought, and he's just jamming full speed across that cap. And Iowa being as fast as it is, it makes it relatively difficult to torp that boat when he's running full speed and changing directions as often as he is. But here, just settling into my smoke, really trying to bring the pain. I know this is the moment that we're probably going to be able to focus this Iowa down. And there we go. One Iowa down. Now we're just going to run down this Kitakaze. Unfortunately, he's farming my Azuma. I do pop radar. I'm just outside of radar range on this Kitakaze. There he is. We're just going to try to melt this guy. So he's going to shoot at me. You notice I'm just going to slam on my brakes. I'm just going to try to be as difficult as I can to hit, because a Fletcher isn't really going to trade against a Kitakaze in open water. Kitakaze should just dumpster a Fletcher in open water. And now I do have a bunch of help that tilts the fight in my odds, but you always want to try to do everything that you can to make your ship live as long as possible. Plus, it just builds good muscle memory. So we do a fair bit of damage, 1800 base XP. Definitely hats off to this Kitakaze player with me that he was bringing a lot of pain, and just I think between me and the Kitakaze rotating smokes and torpedoes everywhere, and it really confused what could have been a really nasty push from the enemy team. And I mean, that Alaska walking into those torpedoes, that basically sealed that flank. I thought that we were going to be getting pushed out of that flank if that Alaska had lived much longer. So a lot, black is premium, so this is kind of the XP results. Now, if you'll notice here, I am running the ultimate crocodile camouflage. That's the 150% XP bonus. You also get that with your commander XP as well. Um, I really wish that Wargaming would push more of these camos, because they're absolutely fantastic. One of the best investments that I've made. Even though this is a ship that, uh, because of Black's torpedoes being so limiting, I really I don't play Black that often. I would much rather play Nustra Shimmy at tier 9 instead of Black, just personal preference. But I mean, just like a fine wine, or having that special tool in your toolbox, Black has tools that other destroyers just can't do, and that's makes this ship valuable. So before I talk all night about that, uh, if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them below. Again, I'll leave the build description in the video description, along with the invite to the community Discord and my Patreon. And hope you guys are having a good night. I'll talk to you later.